So XDefiant has been out for exactly a week now, and in my opinion, the launch has actually been really solid, other than obviously those server issues for the first few hours on launch day. The reception for the game seems to be really good, and I'm having an absolute blast grinding away on the game and even the content side of it too. But that doesn't mean that the game is perfect. I do think there are a few small issues, and so today I wanted to talk about 5 of the biggest changes I think the team at Ubisoft should be making over the next couple of months when it comes to XDefiant. Now, the first one is probably going to be very obvious to a lot of you. I'm sure all of you probably agree with this, or at least the majority of you anyway. The leveling in XDefiant is way too slow in my opinion. Now, this is mostly talking about the weapon grind. I think the battle pass is completely fine, and obviously your overall player level doesn't even matter because there's nothing tied to that. So I'm mostly just talking about the weapon grind here. Now, Aches, who is a former Call of Duty pro and he's now a dev on XDefiant, he said on Twitter that it is about 3,500 XP per weapon level, and with each kill giving you 100 XP, that means it is roughly 35 kills to get a single level for your weapon. Obviously assists and stuff count too, but it is a good guide to go off that roughly 30 to 35 kills will result in one level. Now, that doesn't sound too bad at face value, but with those numbers you are going to need 3,500 kills with each weapon to get them gold, and even just to get all of the attachments for example the assault rifles and stuff that have about 40 different attachments, it's going to be roughly 1,500 kills with each weapon to get all of those attachments, and in my opinion that is a very long time to spend grinding. It doesn't sound too bad for one weapon, but you've got to keep in mind there are 20 odd weapons in the game, so that is going to be close to like 30,000 kills or something like that to be able to get every gun maxed out. Now, I do get it, if we unlocked it all too fast then there would obviously be nothing to play for and people would probably drop off, because that tends to happen when people unlock every item in the game. There's then just nothing to actually grind for. So I'm okay with the leveling being a little bit slow, but in my opinion it is just a tad too slow at the moment. Maybe 2,500 XP per level would be better than 3,500, but that is something I definitely would love to see them change just a little bit. Like I said, it doesn't need to be like 3 times faster or anything. And with that being said, the first weekend they've already done a freaking double XP weekend, so maybe I'm just nitpicking, but that is something I would definitely love to see changed. Now, with the weapon grind being so slow in XDefiant, today's video is brought to you by Mitch Cactus, a website where you can get weapon levels and attachment unlocks done for you, making the most of your time while you're out at work or school. They have well over 10,000 verified Trustpilot reviews and are by far the most legitimate way of doing this method. All of their packages are completely safe and legitimate. They don't hack or mod accounts or anything like that. It is all just manual grinding. They have 24/7 customer support and even a 100% money back guarantee. Head over to mitchcactus.com using the link in the description and use the code SAMMY for 5% off for a limited time only. Now, the next thing I would love to see them change is essentially to do with the skins in this game, giving us just something to grind for. Now, obviously there are the mastery skins, which are just the bronze, silver and gold skins, and they look great. I'm very keen to have them on as many guns as I can get, but outside of those, the only skins at the moment are through the store, and so it pretty much means you either have to buy skins or, like I said before, get 3,500 kills with a weapon to get it gold. Now, I know that with the game being free to play, they need some reason for people to spend money, and I'm completely fine with that. The game's free, so monetize it as much as you want, as long as there's no pay to win. But even just some more like basic skins to grind for in the levels between 0 to 50, for example, would be great. Obviously level 50 is when you get the bronze camo for your weapons, and until you get to level 50 there is no natural way to actually unlock skins. You have to buy them or just use the base weapon. So just some sort of simple camos. They don't need to be flashy, just literally like, you know, woodland camo and stuff like that, something really basic so that we don't have to use the basic weapon skin. I think that would be a great addition that also still allows them to make plenty of money through adding really flashy, awesome skins to the store. Now, the next thing I would love to see them change is actually the ability to save weapon presets when you're making a loadout. So for example, you can build a weapon loadout, you can put all the attachments on it that you want, even like skins and stuff like that, and then you can actually save that as an individual weapon loadout. So then maybe in, for example, 2 months you go and use that weapon again. Maybe you got a buff and you want to make a new loadout with that weapon because you don't have one anymore, but you can't remember which attachments you wanted to use, and so you've got to obviously build it out from scratch, which sometimes can be super annoying. So having the ability to put your attachments on, save that as, for example, MP5 preset 1, and then later on you can choose from all your presets when you are making a class. That would just make it a little bit easier and also save a bit of time, as well as helping me stop forgetting which attachments I want to use. Now, something else I really want to see them change, and this is honestly one of the most important in this whole video, to be honest, is the addition of kill cams in XDefiant. Now, the main reason for this is that this really helps with identifying cheaters. I know for a fact when I've played Call of Duty and most specifically Warzone, there's times when someone kills me and it seems a little bit sus, but I'm not 100% sure if they're hacking or if they literally just are a freak at the game. But then when you watch the kill cam, you can very clearly see that they are using aimbot or wall hacks or something like that, and it does allow you to figure out who's cheating a lot easier and then obviously report them, which is very crucial for games like this that, you know, they can become overrun by cheaters, and none of us want to see that happen. So that is the main reason I would love to see kill cams added to XDefiant. On top of that, it also just allows players to learn how they died. You can see what you did wrong. You can see and learn from the best players. If there's someone in your lobby who's just an absolute freak, every time they kill you, you can just kind of watch what they're doing and go, oh, that's really smart what he did there. I'm going to start doing that myself. And it just allows people to improve. That's how I got better as a player when I started playing the old school Call of Duties. I would watch every kill cam and just see how that person shat on me so I can learn to do that to other people. And I think that is a really important part of games like this too. On top of that, it could also open up a play of the game system. We already have the player of the match system, but it would be great to have an actual play of the game where it shows off the best moment during that game with the most kills or whatever the case may be. I'm sure you guys have seen that in games like Overwatch, even I believe Call of Duty has done that, or even just their final kill cam. And I think that is a really solid addition to the game as well. That one's not quite as necessary as the previous points, but I still think that is definitely something positive that would make the game even better. Now, last but not least, we have a few changes I would love to see made to the factions in this game, most specifically the Cleaners and the Phantoms. And this is because I hate the fact that certain factions have either more health or deal more damage than other factions in the game. I'm sure you guys know by now, but for those who don't, the Cleaners obviously have incendiary rounds, so you deal the same amount of damage as everyone else with your weapon, but then you are also dealing extra damage because there are the incendiary rounds, meaning if you shoot someone and even if they get behind cover, they will still continue to take a little bit extra damage because of those incendiary rounds. And then when it comes to the Phantoms, those three characters actually all have 20 HP more than everyone else. So everyone has 100 HP, but the Phantoms have 120. Now, I think it's completely fine having unique abilities and different damage outputs on your abilities and stuff like that, but I don't really like when games give you any bonus that's to do with your base health or your base damage output. I think that's where it starts to kind of muddy the waters a little bit. In my opinion, if I'm shooting at any single enemy, no matter what faction they are, if it takes 5 bullets to kill with a certain weapon, then it should take 5 bullets to kill on every single enemy. Whereas with the Phantoms, it might take 6 bullets to kill. And although that's obviously a small difference, I've never been a fan of little imbalances like that. And it can become a big issue, especially when it comes to ranked mode and stuff like that, which I don't think any of us want to see genuine core issues like that, especially in ranked. Now, to be fair, it hasn't been a huge issue so far. I haven't found myself constantly dying to the Cleaners or dying in gunfights to the Phantoms because they've got more health. So maybe I'm just nitpicking, but I can see it potentially being an issue in the future, especially, like I said, once ranked is actually open. And on top of that, I'm also nervous that other factions they add down the line will have stuff that's even worse than this. And that is where it can get very frustrating as a player when there is just one or even multiple factions that are clearly the most dominant to use. It makes all of the others pretty much redundant. So anyway, those are 5 changes I would love to see coming to XDefiant. Whether any of these happen, I'm honestly not too sure. And at the end of the day, most of these are minor little nitpicks. I think the game is actually in a really good state. The balancing feels pretty decent. There is a lot of really positive stuff about this game, but that doesn't mean we can try and improve it even more as a community. Leave a comment down below and let me know whether you agree with any of these or even your own changes that you would love to see. But with that being said, thank you all very much for watching. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you all out there in the arena.